Natural Neighbourhoods tool of LG Inform Plus lets you see the geographical boundaries of areas and how they fit in with and overlap one another. It applies both to official government geographies and unofficial areas defined by the communities which live in them. If you go to the front page of LG Inform Plus and you select the Natural Neighbourhoods tool, you'll see you're taken to a page which describes the tool and has this selection at the top where you can select a particular type of area you're interested in. So let me start with local authority, and then you can pick a particular area of that type or choose to see them all. And if you apply that and go to the map, you'll see how areas of that type are defined with their boundaries on a map. Now here I've picked all local authorities and we've got them recorded for every country in the UK, so you'll see them all, and as you hover over them the name of each is given. And if you're in a two-tier area, you've got both the county and the district shown. If we choose, rather than my local authority, to pick country and choose to break that down by local authority, you see here I've picked just the country of England, and I've got this time all the local authorities in England coming up. Now that's local authorities. I could have done it equally well with different types of geography, like the local enterprise partnership. And this time I'll pick one specific one. That's the LEP of Cheshire and Warrington. And we'll see how that looks on the map. And you'll see the map zooms into that particular local enterprise partnership. And if I want, I can show how that breaks down, in this case by local authority. And this is the 3 local authority areas that make up the Cheshire and Warrington local enterprise partnership. So they're official geographies. Now, you can choose to add your own unofficial geographies, and I would do this with care and seek advice from and guidance from the LG Inform Plus team as necessary. But let me pick a neighbourhood planning area as an example. And these are small areas around which forums are developed, and they're given a small amount of government funding, and they define their own boundaries. So I'll pick the neighbourhood planning area of Crystal Palace and Upper Norwood, which is in South London, and you'll see the map moves to highlight that area. And this is the boundary of that area as precisely defined by the members of the forum which get together to plan for that area. And if I pick a breakdown by output area, now output areas are the very small units of geography used by the Office of National Statistics to gather metrics about areas which typically comprise no more than 150 households. And you'll see we've got all of these output areas that fall within the Crystal Palace boundary, and a few that cut across the boundary. And what Natural Neighbourhoods does is what we call a best fit, and it chooses which output areas fit mostly within the boundary, and it uses the statistics that relate to those output areas when it calculates statistics for this neighbourhood as a whole. Now if I choose the overlay function, I can overlay that map with many different types of geography. In this case I'm going to pick local authority, and you'll see this particular neighbourhood plan area fits within 5 different local authorities. So no one local authority area has a good understanding of Crystal Palace, but the plan area describes that in a lot more detail, and that data is available to people from any of these local authorities, or indeed to the community themselves. I just look at a few features other than the map. The area type details tab gives you a brief description of the type of area, so in this case neighbourhood plan area, with some links here to government documents which describe the concept of neighbourhood plan areas. And you'll see that in this case it's broken down by these output areas and lower level super output areas, and it fits within the country as a whole, not an individual local authority. These resource tabs link out to web pages which describe neighbourhood plan areas in more detail, and if you sign in, you can add your own resources that relate to a particular area type, or indeed a particular area. So if I go to the Areas tab, you'll see this is a brief description of Crystal Palace and Upper Norwood itself. Links out to resources which describe it. In this case, we've got links to 3 LG Inform Plus reports with metrics for that area. And this, the URI, the Uniform Resource Identifier, is a unique identification number that applies specifically to that area, such that if you enter that in a web browser, you're taken to a map which shows you the precise boundary. But if you use machine-readable tools, that identifier will be interpreted in different ways and used in linked data across government. So that, in a nutshell, is natural neighbourhoods. There are separate pieces of guidance on creating your own areas and creating your own area types.